people still can win the round to me. You know what I mean? If your material is that much better and you fuck up, I don't care if it wasn't flawless. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have that critique for it, but I think it's, I don't know. I think it's wiggle room sometimes.
So I feel like what you think is the choking rule should be reformed in some type of way. Because here's my
No,
thing.
no, no, no. Let's not say that. I'm too
Okay.
articulate for you to have to paraphrase for me. I've never said that. I specifically said I specifically said there are no rules in battle rap, and that's the problem. There are no rules in battle rap. There's no rules. What's the rules in battle rap?
Okay,
There are
there's
opinions and there are expectations. That's
yes.
it.
Okay. There's no written rules and there's no handbook. That's fair.
Mhm.
I think we got multiple unwritten rules. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
And they're unwritten.
Expectations.
Sure, expectations. That's a great word. I'm too intelligent for you to have to paraphrase from me though. Let me explain that. But for me, I'll give you an example. So Big K and me battle, and everybody remembers the see what they do for views. What they don't remember was how much he was fucking me up after that round. First round competitive, second round I land that angle, and then in the third round, K was fucking cooking me, literally. But he was trying to get back so hard from the second round that I landed, he ends up rapping for like 4 minutes, 5 minutes. And he could have stopped at multiple different times, and he didn't. He kept rapping, and he choked. And everybody 2-1 froze, 2-1 froze. And the reason for that being is because you know, if he chokes and my shit is flawless, even if his shit is better, that's an asterisk next to the round. It doesn't matter how good you were doing
Mhm.
because the moment you choke, how good you were doing is now skewed. You weren't doing that damn good in the totality of things. Like it's rare we go when it's a hard choke too. Imagine when people choke and they don't pick it back up. Some people
Mhm.
choke but then they get it back. But let's just use the choke
Yeah,
and
I've
use
had some real bad chokes where there's no way I could get back. There's been times when I've gone into a battle and have been unprepared. Clearly, it's like, yo, you have to stand up here and deal with this because, bitch, you just have to rap, right?
right,
So
right.
there's those times, right? And then there's
Hmm.
there's times when you could be rapping. You're so much in the moment. Shit happens. Little things will throw you the fuck off, and you're able to like, yo, let
A
me chill. Let
crowd
me get back.
reaction. A crowd
Right,
reaction. I'm fucking you
right.
up.
That just literally just happened to me. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So there's a difference with me trying to look up, and I'm not making any excuses, but I'm gonna keep it a buck. There's a difference with me looking up at the sky and really trying to figure out, like, oh my God, I don't know my material versus no, I'm here, I'm good, like we're gonna have a good time. People, you know what I'm saying? It's a difference. I'm very transparent like that. People see me before a battle, I'm like, I don't know how it's gonna go, but I gotta get in here.
Right.
Then there's those times when you're like, yo, it's good. Nah, I'm good. I'm about to go. I'm good. And then there's like Sharon. I seen you outside the Sharon battle. You asked
You
me
were
if I was good,
yeah.
did you not?
Yeah, and I thought you gave me an answer
I
and
went
I
upstairs and spit all three of my rounds before I walked right past you and your brother, spit my shit to Marv, felt good as shit, walked back, said something to you out the table, and went downstairs. And a crowd, it literally flashed out of my mind. Do you understand where I'm coming from? No
yes.
excuses, but I'm simply saying, maybe because my personal experience, I'm able to have a little bit more grace for it. And it could just literally be that. But for me, it's like there's times when there's a difference between coming to a battle rap and being unprepared and then you letting other things affect your performance. So I'm not
Yes.
automatically going to take the round from somebody for that.
So let me use that thought process. So because I went into battles where I was prepared and I choked, right? But
Hmm.
for me, I credit it to pressure and real time performing. And it's not the best way to explain it because nobody wants to feel like they fumble because of pressure. But it's different when I'm in the hotel room or when I'm rapping to my dogs or I'm in the parking lot and I got my shit. But when the lights on and the camera is rolling and I fumble it, I could credit that to pressure. So
But see, I can only credit that when I'm not comfortable. Like I hear exactly what you're saying, and for me, the pressure is gonna make me fuck up if I'm not on 100 when I go there. That's what I'm saying. It's weird for me. If I know like I got my rounds at like a 70%, I'm just like, yeah, I just gotta kind of coast or I gotta get over these little humps or whatever. Then that pressure is going to fuck with me. Yes. But if I go in there confident, I know my shit, it's not about pressure. There's no difference on you go to the store, you start talking to somebody, or you go into a room and forgot what the fuck you came in there for. There wasn't no pressure behind that. It's just like shit. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's weird. It's weird. I don't think it always goes the same way.
it doesn't, and there's so many variables to choking, and
Hmm.
because that is for me as shitty as it sounds, it's got to be cut and dry because there's a million different ways that can cause a choke, and because the choke is the choke. And why I used the boxing analogy when we were talking earlier. why I love boxing. But it's also a 1v1 competition. I don't really more of like the basketball, and we all do it. The basketball and football, free surf, he does it the best with the basketball analogies. But they
Y'all are
really,
so aggy with that shit. Like
but you
that.
know what though? I agree with you. Those never really correlate to me. But when you use boxing, UFC, or fucking ping pong, 1v1 competitions, it's different.
They are
And in
different, but a little. It's a physical expectation versus something that's coming up. So I get it, but it's still always a little different for me.
Yeah, but the mental aspect for me is it's the strongest organ in your body, the brain. So yeah, I don't have to bench press 500 to write this fucking fire ass round. But the mental strain that goes on a battler's body, it affects you. Come on, 40.
What would
You've
no
been
no what would no I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to see like what would be like the choking aspect in boxing.
So I'm about to tell you. So it could be a variable of things. Maybe missing your fundamentals. So you're beating a guy up. The two guys in the ring. One guy getting his ass whooping around. And because the guy who dishing out the ass whooping see that he may have hurt somebody, he starts to go a little extra. Now he's leaning when he's punching. He's not bringing his hands back because he sees
Hmm.
a hurt fighter and he's trying to finish the fight. And then out of nowhere, the nigga who's in danger might have slipped a punch in, caught him off balance. It didn't hurt him, but his glove touched the ground. By rule, that is a knockdown. Even though he didn't fall down or he wasn't knocked out, that's still a knockdown. He was just
So the
fucking.
glove touching the canvas would have to be the only way that the analogy can be compared because that would be have to be the only way. Outside of that, then I don't.
Well, no. Again, let's say the glove didn't touch and he just got caught by trying to finish the guy.
Hmm.
He lost the round because by rule, when you are knocked down, that's a 10-8 round. So,
Again, so it has to be the knockdown thing. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just
yeah,
making
yeah,
sure.
sure.
Okay, that's the okay.
Okay, but that's my choke for me. Like that's a
Okay,
choke.
okay.
I'm just
Hmm.
trying to correlate the chokes a little bit. So for for
Hmm.
for me, it's like, damn, he was whooping his ass. His glove touched the ground. The judges are going to score at 10-8 for the guy who was whooping ass because his glove touched the fucking ground. So for me, you can be winning a round, but if you drop the mic, if you damn
Hmm.
what I say, if you got to hit that water 5-10 seconds, you don't get
Hmm.
it back, or it take you a half a minute to get it back, everything you said leading up to that point is now tainted.
I'm not mad at that. I have a question. How does it tell me how this works in boxing? Forgive my ignorance, right? So the same situation that just happened. The person's fighting or whatever, they start, they're bullshitting. The person who chokes in the fight, like their gloves touch the ground, right? If they get up and turn around and uppercut that motherfucker out their shoes and knock them out, how does that work in the fight? And how do you score that fight? So you know what I'm saying.
That's a
Everything
great
that you just
question.
told me, you get what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
if or if I per se was fighting better than you the whole time, and you might have got, I might have got too crazy. Let my glove touch the ground because that's like that. Let's say that's the analogy as far as the excitement and the lights, right? I'm getting
Mm.
crazy. I start fumbling, fuck up the fundamentals. My glove touched the ground or whatever, but then I get back and I beat the shoes off you. How do you still say that you won that round, even in boxing? Now, forgive my ignorance, but that doesn't make
Yes.
sense to me.
So in boxing, the only that's well, it's an analogy. They aren't perfect, right? But
Hmm.
there's really no way to score that round in battle rap to correlate that. Hold on, sweetheart. Hold on, sweetheart.
Mm.
But hold on, 40. If if I'm kicking your ass and I choke, and
Hmm.
let's say it's the top of the first, are essentially all he got to do is rap through his round clean and he get the round. The only way that would change is if he chokes. Now it's a 9-9 round, right? They both choke. That's the only way it would even up with the boxing analogy. But I never
I need you
said
to tell me in the scenario I painted, who do you give that round to?
if well if they so basically you're saying both you well if you knocked him out the fight's over.
Or knocked him down? Even if I
Okay, so
knocked you,
now
said
okay, so
hmm
both got
I
so
fuck up with my
essentially
fundamentals,
yeah
like you
yeah
said. I
yeah.
choke, my glove touched the ground, but then I turn around and
So essentially you're saying both
roll and
guys
pivot
got
and knock him the fuck out of here. Then what?
well, if you knock them out, the fight's over. But let's just say you dropped them after your glove hit the
Hmm.
ground.
Hmm.
If you dropped them, both guys just got a knockdown. Now it's back to the point system. How we score the rounds without
So in
knockdowns
battle rap, if somebody has a mediocre round and I'm having a fire round and I choke, can that analogy still not be applied? Why does it automatically because I choked I just lost? Because
because
people say it doesn't matter.
because he didn't choke. He finished his round. I can't give you a consolation prize for having a good round, but choking.
No,
So
that's not what I'm saying. I was comparing the two analogies. If one of them
yes,
is where I'm able to recover in the boxing side, if you're able to say then they both just cancel themselves out, how come that's not the same as far? Is it because like material is subjective? Because someone put that argument earlier, and I'm not mad at that either. But like, why wouldn't it be the same? If your material's ass, my material's better, but I fuck up, why wouldn't they both just cancel themselves out?
because I didn't fumble. You didn't knock me down.
You
You
fumbled
like
coming with mediocre material.
mediocre material versus outweighs a choke though. Because again, we can sit here and talk to five people. Hey Kyla, look, they boxing right now.
They
Uh, uh,
turned up.
uh, um, mediocre material is subjective, just like you said. So we sit here and we ask four people, "Hey, yo, how you score that round?" If four people was like, "Man, that round was mid," but one person was like, "Nah, I ain't gonna hold you. I thought the round was fired." So it's really no set in stone, even if it's like majority feels because it's subjective. So
Hmm.
three people can feel a round was ass. Two people might not have felt like it was ass. That's the gray area of the sport. But I'm not saying if you choke, you
Say,
lose.
hmm.
But I'm not
Hmm.
saying if you choke, you lose the battle. You can win a battle that you choked in a round in, but that round for me is not debatable if the other guy or the other gal was clean. To me,
That's what I'm not mad at. That's the whole thing. Like I'm not mad at that standpoint either. I'm just also not one of those people who automatically is going to say you lost the round because you choked. That was my whole point. So I'm not mad at how you look at things either, because it's a package deal, right? You should be on point. You should be able to execute all those things. You should be able to factor in if you fuck up or whatever. I'm not mad at that. But I'm also simply saying there are instances where people are just being okay. Someone has a way better round, fucks up, and I'm not going to automatically just say you lost the round. And then I notice people do shit too. I want to say you do it, but you did it to me, but I'm not sure, so I don't want to accuse you just yet. But I'm almost positive with my Sharon battle. You did that. When I fucked up in the round, I feel like you went back and then you started trying to take the other round from me. That's an issue for me as well, too. Correct me if I'm wrong.
to be fair,
Mm-hmm.
you are 1,000% correct.
Okay.
But now I'm not saying that's fair though. 40, like me
Mm-hmm.
explaining something that I might do or be a
Mm-hmm.
victim of is not me saying it's fair. But yes, so if it's a close battle, right? Let's say first round, highly debatable. Second round, whatever, it was clear debatable or whatever the case may be. And then that third round, one of the person chokes, it fucks up a classic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, it, I do go back and now feel like I'm watching that first with a crooked eye. And why that is, I don't know. But it just takes something away from the performance and the totality. Because it's already hard enough to judge a battle that's competitive.
But
So
you
when
see how if you compared it in a boxing match, if we had a good round and stuff in a boxing match, you have to go back and literally just go point for point, and it's not just about your feelings. It ends up being what the technical side of it is. How come you can't apply that to battle rap as well?
because there's no general scoring system in battle rap.
No, I'm talking about
So
your own opinion, how you approach the situation. Like
so
instead of going back and just saying, "Damn," because she fucked up, I have to look at the whole battle in its totality where she might have messed up. Why not go back and be like, "Damn, these first two rounds were debatable. Let me go here through them with a fine tooth comb and see who edged them."
because I'm grading the performance also in a totality, right? So not just okay, you can break it down round for round, but
Hmm.
also there's still a summary when you smash them all together. And for me, if you're cooking in your first, you're cooking in your second, and then you choke in your third, for also battle for me is a feel thing, right? No diddy. So I'm watching the rounds and I'm grading the bars, but also there's performance. There's vocab. There's many different variables that you can grade if somebody is cooking or not. It's also the feel. How does these bars make me feel? Where is it taking my psyche as I'm listening to this? This performance by whatever said rapper. That fumble puts a taint on the whole performance. It's almost like a guy running for 300 yards, but he got two fumbles. It's like, yeah, he had 300 yards, but he cost the team the game. It affected the whole outcome. So I don't give a fuck about all the other two touchdowns he had because those two fumbles cost the game. So for me, it's not technically right, but I find myself doing that a lot. You know what I
I
mean?
know. I
That's
know.
what I'm saying.
I know. You did it versus Shimon. So I know you fucking lying. And then you're factoring all these things. Then in the third, I'm like, the motherfucker rap up. That doesn't even matter. I don't, not a crybaby.
But I'll
Hopefully
tell
that's
you
how you
what
keep
though,
it.
40. I
Yeah.
think your status as an individual is also factored into how you're graded, right? So if I'm watching a mid-level player, yeah, they're still professional, but you know they're a jag, just another guy, right? And I'm watching somebody who's been a five-time All-Star, top three in MVP voting three different times in their career. The standard of what I expect for them is different than the standard I expect from the Jags, the middle of the pack guys, right?
Understandable.
So
Yeah,
I also
understandable.
think greatness gets graded on a curve. Both ways. It could be in your favor or it could be against you. So let's use you for an example. I look at 40 as a Mount Rushmore female. If I look at her as one of the best female battlers to ever live, one of the best battlers to ever live, I have a certain standard when I watch that person perform. I expect greatness from people who are graded, who are deemed as great. So 40 choking in a battle is more critical than one of the middle of the pack people choking in a battle simply because the bar, the standard, the expectation is higher. That's what comes with being elite. Just like if you have a hoist of people saying, yeah, 40 choked, but she still won them first two rounds. And I thought his third was whack when people would defend that too. That comes with greatness. So it's a double side.
And
It's
can
a
and listen, and that's right. You're right. So I'm not arguing nothing you said. I'm not mad at that. I will say this though. I feel like when they defend it, on the same token, why is it not? I'm considered great because not just because I've been here for years, because I've put out great material, because I'm
yes.
talented, right? So why isn't it? Why do people seem like not people? Why do people make it seem like niggas are delusional if they try to argue for me winning rounds that clearly have good material? Because they don't want to necessarily do how you might do things. Oh, now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna take this from her because this happened. Everybody doesn't view battles the same, so I'm confused as to why that. You know what I'm saying? That happens too. So I understand being held to a certain standard. Like, we're grown. You know what time it is. You fuck up, they're gonna hold you to the fire. I don't be crying or nothing like that. I don't do that shit. But again, I still feel like it's not always as black and white as because you fuck up in a round, you automatically lost it. For me, that's just for me. So that was my whole
Now,
thing.
let me ask you this, because this is what I missed, 40. See, maybe you can get me up to speed on this. It what hatched this debate on the timeline for the last fucking 48 hours? What battle has everybody in an uproar about
Don't
this
get
choke
me
for?
lying. Don't get me to lying. I just know I'm gonna have to be in a hot seat. So I've just decided to start weighing in on it. Whatever. I don't yeah. I don't know. I
Because
don't
I
know.
wasn't that Dyson Hansel battle, y'all. Anybody down there in the listeners, can y'all
I
thumbs up?
haven't seen a lot of that. I
Was
haven't
it the
seen a lot
okay?
of that.
Because I know somebody had choked in that battle, and then I seen somebody had made a post like, you know, they still felt like that person might have won the round or whatever the case may be. Let me get forward. Oh, all right, but there you go. Three letter man. What's up, three?
Hi, three.
What's up, my nigga? What's up, 40? What's up, 40?
What's up with you,
What's
40?
up? What's up, 40? What's up, Bird? What's up, y'all? Nah, Froze, you're right though. It's the Hansel dice battle, brother.
Okay, you saw that battle.
I didn't get to watch all of it yet. I was watching
Did
Jada
you
Nightwing
did
and
you did you see the choke?
no, I didn't get to see the choke yet, Froze, not yet.
Okay, and now three, are people trying to say that who choked, Hansel or Dice?
I believe it was Dice, I believe, if I'm
Okay,
seeing
so
the
so
timeline right.
let's just say it was Dice, even if it was
Right.
Hansel.
Okay, my bad.
Are people still trying to make a case that he won the round that he choked? Is that where the uproar came from?
That's what up was coming at now and
Yeah,
shit. It
come
seems
on,
like
y'all.
judges,
Come
bad judges, and all
on.
kind of wild shit.
This isn't difficult for me though. Like, and 40 made some great points, and I honestly think her points are only great because us not having set rules is actually the gray area, right?
Yeah.
So she can really combat anything I say, even if I make a good point, because technically there are no rules. But damn it, though, there are rules that we all know about. Maybe the fans don't understand them, but as professionals and as competitors, there are rules that we like. If I choking around, I kind of expect that round to be taken from me. Period. It doesn't matter. So
And that's why you hold people to that standard. So that's understandable. Like, that's the reason why you grade battles the way you do. Me, on the other hand, because I have fucked up in a battle, and I'm not a delulu ass person. You know that. I fucked up in a battle and looked at my opponent's material like, no, fuck that. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. No, 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 no. My shit was better. So, and that's the reason why I feel the way I do. You get what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
we're gonna do stuff based off of our experience and shit like that too. I just feel like it's not always that black and white. For me, it's not gonna be like, yo, you choked around, you automatically lost. For me, it's not always that black and white. I need to know if your material was levels better than this person, and depending on if you was able to get it back or if it was yes, those things I'm factoring those things in. And again, like I said, it could just be because I fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Let
Well,
me go ahead. Go ahead, sorry.
Froze, you remember this battle with Old Red and Show Off? Remember that battle?
Yes.
Wasn't there a round which Old Red choked, I believe, and they still gave him a round though?
Was that battle wasn't judged though, right?
No, it wasn't judge. It wasn't judge, brother. No, 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 no. It wasn't judge.
I
No.
don't remember them giving him the like.
And to
I
go,
I
and
get
to go,
go ahead.
no, and to go back to 40 battle right quick. I just watched her and Danny Myers, right?
Hmm.
And 40 was wild in the first and second round. Her third round, I ain't gonna hold you. I can make the argument her third round was a tad bit better than Danny Myers, right? But she had to slip up towards the end of her round
No,
because
I'm
she was
glad you said that.
fire.
No, I'm
She
glad you
was
said
fire
that. No, no, no,
until the
no. Stop
mishap.
right there.
40 was
Stop right
fire. Good,
there. Stop
good,
right
good,
there.
good,
Three.
good.
That's another. See, that's the bigger conversation for me. 3 and
No,
40.
froze.
Hold
Damn it.
on. Hold on. Hold on. That's the bigger
Froze.
conversation for me
They
because I.
reacted. I was so happy in there. You don't understand. Like, you know, my year, like, no excuses. My, like, y'all never hear me get up and talk about, like, I don't cry about jokes. I don't play with people talking to me crazy, but I don't be on bullshit. I'll tell you if I was prepared, if I wasn't, right? Last year, my year was kind of rocky, whatever. When I tell you how fucking hype I was, like, no, this Danny material is going up. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not going to hold you. I can't make no excuses, but I'm simply telling you, like, there's a difference between going somewhere and not knowing your shit and being caught in the motherfucking moment or being hyped in the fucking reaction and other things is going on. It just is what it is. And I don't know, maybe that could be considered a layer, a second type of preparation too. Like, damn, you need to be able to factor that in. I don't know. I don't know, but
I'm seeing
nah,
if 40
nah, I
would
was
have.
cooking, man. That shit is
Oh,
insane.
okay. Hold on, because I
Hmm.
want to stay here. But 40, I'm seeing it. Somebody just commented that battle was judged, and they still gave Dice the round, even though he choked. Is what I'm reading. Dice choked him
So okay, so
first.
that's what's
Oh,
gotten everything
that
going this
yes,
weekend.
and I tell you
Okay.
what, that is criminally that's upsetting.
No,
That's
let me tell you what's
upsetting.
upsetting. If you didn't watch the round and if you didn't see the battle, that's going to be upsetting if you're willing to say that before
I'm gonna
you're
tell
going to
you, no,
analyze
no,
the battle yourself. As
you're right.
yes, that's
You're right.
irresponsible,
No,
froze.
no, no, no. It's not irresponsible. It's not irresponsible. The only I'm gonna tell you why it's not irresponsible. And what I was gonna say before I saw that comment was, I think the bigger conversation is what's a choke and what's a stumble, right? Because I think that we have a lot of arguments about, no, that was a stumble. He didn't really choke. And I think that's a bigger story. But I don't need to see a fucking battle to know if a guy stopped rapping in the middle of his verse 40 and he was like, what'd I say? Or he had to hit that water. That's not irresponsible of me to not see that battle. A choke is a fucking choke, right? So if he choked and stopped rapping and also didn't even get it back,
Hmm.
um, that's just a choke. So he lost that
I was
round to
saying
me.
if the irresponsibility part was coming from all these ifs that we have to present without knowing it. It's too many ifs.
Oh, well, okay, but
If there's,
if I never,
especially
yeah,
when,
well, I
like you
gotta,
said, a
I
lot
got,
of people define chokes and stumbles as different things, and because we know that
yes.
there's so much gray areas in hip hop, that's why I was saying it's irresponsible. And let for
Well,
you to see it, and you can call it how you choose to how you grade
well,
it.
I'll tell you what, 40. Since you don't like ifs, I got another if for you. If I never saw a choke before, I'd be with you. I know what choking looks like. So if it's a
No, I'm
choke,
just saying. What if other people? Okay, so do you separate chokes from stumbles? Let me ask that first before I go further.
yes, yes, and I
Okay,
and I hate when people try to grade stumbles as chokes. It
okay.
drives
So
me
is it
fucking
possible? So
crazy.
what if somebody did that to Dice? Is what I'm saying.
Then Dice, if I watched the battle and it was a stumble, then Dice shouldn't have been.
And that's all I was. That's
Yeah,
all I
yeah,
was saying,
yeah.
Froze. Is that it would be.
So
That's all I was saying. Where the irresponsible
can
part
I
comes from, because you might not consider what everybody else is saying. It's so gray here.
can I interject?
I'm
I
glad
just
just
wanted
cause
to
just cause you act so nicely, Dice. Absolutely, it's all yours,
Morning. Good
gang.
afternoon,
Yes, sir.
Dice.
Yes, sir.
yeah, so I'm assuming you haven't watched the battle yet.
I'm about to watch it as soon as I get off the space, though.
All right, that's a bet. But I just wanted to say the judges' reasoning for giving me the first, even with the mishap, is because in the fashion of what made me fuck up. There was a lot of a little bad sportsmanship. You know what I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
on both sides in different rounds. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of shit going on, and they penalized Hansel for that. And on top of that, I had the better material in that round,
I'm
and
s-
that was their reasoning for it.
I'm
You
seeing
know
a
what I'm saying?
comment where they said you were distracted by a phone.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it
Hansel had
Explain.
his
was.
phone out.
I
Explain
don't
it,
want to
Dice.
say
What
too
happened?
much until you can, make your own opinion. You
Oh
know
no,
what I'm
no, no,
Bro,
saying?
let
no.
me tell I'm froze. Let me tell you what happened. Hampton had his phone out, right? I saw the first round.
Right.
Hampton had his phone out, and I think Dice, if memory serves me right, made a comment about it, and it got kind of a little testy right there. Is that what it is, Dice? Am I right on that?
He
Yeah.
was playing the video of a Zoom call while Dice was rapping. So it's a Zoom call, I guess, that Dice was having at a job or
Mm,
something. So he's
wow.
playing the clip while Dice is rapping, and Dice is like, "Yo, put," he already showed the clip during his round. Now he's playing it
Okay.
while Dice is rapping as well.
Okay.
So Dice
Well,
tells him to put the phone down. He's rapping, but it threw him off
I
because it's like I'm rapping and you playing this video, which can throw anybody off.
thank. Hey, Josh, that is key information I wasn't
So that
privy
plays.
to.
So I don't even consider it a choke because of the fashion in which it happened. It's not like he forgot his rounds just randomly. Like you're playing a video while I'm rapping, so now you're being
You
disrespectful.
distracted me. You
Right.
distracted me. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. Dice, that makes this a little dicey, right? Because if you were rapping and you were interrupted or distracted by your opponent and that caused you to fuck up, I can totally understand the judges factoring that in, right? So 40 points to you. You were a little right, Froze. That was a little reckless of me to just say that that's upsetting
Thank
because
you.
yeah, well, 1 point for 40, 1 point for 40. Um, but you know, well, this conversation is a different conversation. Then what are we talking about? I mean, at the end of the day, if he was distracted by I'm a firm believer that you should be quiet. I make comments too when somebody cooking me. Yeah, I'll make a little comment and shit, and I'm not trying to throw him off, but I ain't upset if it do throw him off, right? So there's all type of games within the games, but under a judged battle where there's actual judges calling the battle, I can totally see them factoring that in. That's fair.
What's up, y'all? I missed what happened in the
Call
scenario.
me for ad. What's up, ad?
What's up? What's up? So they said what happened when Hansel pulled
So
his phone out and
So
then
Dice rapping, and Hansel pulled out a phone and started playing a video on his phone while Dice was rapping, and then Dice got fucked up. So there's a now that has opened up these fucking choking, and do you still win the round if you choke conversation? What's up, Hansel?
No, I wanted to because I've been seeing this a lot, even though it's on footage. I wanted to clear something up. Dice was actually rapping while I was showing the video. While I was showing the video, like I literally was showing it to him and he was rapping through his shit. It was when he said, "I slapped that phone out your fucking hand," and then I said, "I slapped the shit out of you." Then that's what fucked bro up. It wasn't like I pulled the phone out, bro, saw the phone and started fucking up. I think a lot of people starting to like conflate that, but I wanted
All
to
right.
clear that up.
Oh, let me ask
Well,
you this question, Hansel. Let me just ask you this question: whether he stopped because of the phone or because he said something about you having the phone, do you feel like that was a little unprofessional to be playing a video in front of him while he was rapping? Just asking you personally.
Granted, respectfully, I could look back and say that wasn't the most professional thing I've ever done. I can't even say that's the coolest thing I ever done in the battle. But regardless how people feel about the actual action, I appreciate the dialogue this shit is created, honestly. But I can admit that no, that wasn't the most professional thing on my end. And I think we both had a moment where we did some shit that wasn't the most unsportsmanlike, whether it was my shit with the phone in the first or what he did in the third with cutting off my last couple bars. But
Right.
I think I can admit like that wasn't the coolest shit in the world, but I think I've seen worse in battles and I didn't do it with the intent to fuck him up at all. It was more
Because I
so like, oh, go ahead, my fault.
Because no, I'm not even. Well, I just wanted to piggyback off of what you said originally. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, the phone might not have bothered as a man. The phone might not have bothered me as much as another man telling me I'm gonna slap the shit out you. I would have forgot my
thank you.
bars too. I would have forgot my bars too. I'm gonna be honest. That
Right.
changes the sport, and I promise you, I'm just not trying to take sides. Just listening to the information y'all have given. If I'm Dice, you playing a video while I'm rapping might prompt me to say, "Yo, I smack that fucking phone out your hand." Like that's like
Respectfully.
to me, that's in a realm of favorable responses.
Right.
Now, when you one up me, man, I slap the shit out of you. I don't know if I'd have been able to continue rapping. Like that's especially depending on how prideful the motherfucker is who you said it to. So I think nevertheless, whether the phone is the root of the fuck up. It might have been some things that happened after that made the choker to stop happening. But I think the root of it would be you pulling the phone out, playing the video. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, I definitely. I ain't even gonna fake the funk with that. And like I know there's some people who judge this battle completely different based off of how you feel about me pulling out the phone to begin with, or how you feel about chokes and how they factor in when it comes to judge battles or whatever. I think a lot of people have a different opinions on a lot of factors in this
I
battle.
don't care.
But yeah, no, I could if you felt like the phone shit wasn't the most unsportsmanlike shit, I can admit it wasn't. But I do feel like it's playoff basketball.
Well, a foul's still a foul, Hansel. Whether
Right.
we
Respectfully.
let me ask you a
Respectfully.
question. Let me ask you a question. The round that they gave him in the first, did you feel like because he fucked up that you should have got that round?
Okay, let me say my piece about this specific conversation when it comes to chokes and battles.
I'm
Have
paying
I
my
given
URL bill right now, y'all. I'm queuing this battle up. But
have I ever given somebody a round even with a choke? Absolutely. One of the greatest examples I always use is O-Red versus Show Off. O-Red bodied Show Off. He choked in his second. It was a very noticeable choke as well. But I don't give Show Off a round in that battle. So I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't understand a lot of people's opinions when it comes to a choke automatically or not automatically winning a round. However, I do feel like when it comes to judged battles, there's certain things that have to factor in. I think one example that a lot of people bring up is Swamp and Nitty in the last tournament. A lot of people had Swamp winning in that battle or was going to win that battle, and then once he choked in the third, they was like, you can't give him that round automatically. And a lot of people was like, we still thought he won, but because it's a judged situation, we have to respect it. So I feel like if this battle wasn't judged, I don't think this would be that deep of a conversation because you can pick and choose whether a nigga wins or lose based on the material you thought was better or not. But I think when it comes to a judged aspect, I think that's when you have to factor in the choke a little bit more or it means a little bit more.
Also, like whenever the shit had happened, my time wasn't stopped. You know what I'm saying? Whenever that whole argument back and forth was going on, so I didn't get some of my last bars off. You know what I'm saying? It took away from the round. So like I feel like that's what causes a lot of the controversy as well. Like the shit didn't come off clean. You know what I mean? So and I ain't gonna lie. I feel like, and Hansel might be upset with me with this, bro. I feel like Cuz was trying to throw me off, bro. Like not just the phone, but he was making faces. He was doing. I feel like he was doing a little bit much. Whereas on my side, I wasn't doing too much talking. I was letting them rock out. So I feel like that's why a lot of the people feel the way they do. But I just wanna wait till everybody get to watch the battle to delegate their own opinion. You know what I'm saying? So you know
so
what I mean?
yeah, no, and that's fair. I feel like go ahead, Josh.
I also don't understand kind of like what the big confusion is because the judges actually gave Dice still the first. So the first isn't what technically cost him the battle to the judges because they all the judges gave you the first, right, Dice?
Yeah, yeah. Every judge did. Yeah.
Yeah, every judge gave him that first. I feel like the issue honestly was probably the second because I feel like most people give Dice the second when watching the battle, and the judges gave Hansel the second. But I think Arsenal mentioned your choke, the incident being in the second when it was actually in the first when he was judging the battle. I watched it last night.
So you're saying he scored it in the second for something that happened in the first?
First, I believe it, if I'm not mistaken, when I that's where Arsenal mentioned it, but he mentioned it in the wrong round.
See, 40. I ain't the only one who do it.
So when I yeah
I know. Look, irresponsible.
when I asked them about that in the building, they implicated that like the first round they didn't count that whatever that was, and apparently there was something that they all said they saw in the second. I didn't see it personally, So I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. In the building, I actually gave Dice the second, but on camera, I gave Hansel the second, and I still gave Dice the first. Um,
See, I gave Dice the second when I watched it last night. So I had Dice the first and second.
that's crazy. I ain't even asked.
So, so,
We ain't asked
so
you
do
either
y'all
though.
feel
I
like
I feel like yeah, no,
do
look,
you,
I feel
do
like
y'all feel like the judges didn't factor the choke in the first because of what was happening? Do you feel like that's how
no,
they
look,
scored it?
DNA told. Well, I'll just say this: the judges let me know that they took. It was like this. We both had points taken away from our first for different reasons. I think they took more points from me for what I did than his choke. Because mind you, without the choke, Dice still had great material in that first. So I felt like if they took, like, let's say if my round, if both our rounds were eight penmanship wise, let's say they took 5 points away from me for doing what I did, and they took like 4 points from Dice for choking. That's kind of how I looked at it, where it was like, if I didn't do that, if I didn't do nothing and Dice choked, then I think they would have gave me the round just off the merit. But I think it was kind of, they both did some shit in the first, but they liked Dice's material more in the first. And mind you, my first was a approach round. It wasn't a super punchy or trying to like bar up. It was literally an approach round. So if you like his approach better in that first, then you're gonna give him the first regardless of the choke or not. I think majority of everybody gave me the third in that battle. So I think this battle really comes down to how you feel about the second and your opinion about the first. But I think the fact that this is a dope battle, like both sides, no matter what, you're getting like great bars and energy from it. I think this is one of those, like, not culture shifting battles, but it's one of those battles that spark a conversation. Like the fact that we having this conversation now, niggas is talking about what a choke really means and what that shit means to the impact of a battle and all that shit. I like the fact that this battle is creating dialogue, um, period. So yeah, go watch Hansel versus
Also,
Dice.
I want to clear about the third of me cutting Hansel off. He was saying his ending slogan. I thought he was done with his round. I didn't know he had bars after that. And by the time I already cut him off, he was like, "Man, I got a few bars, bitch." And when he said that, I'm like, "Fuck that! I'm not letting this nigga rap. What the fuck?" So I just kept on going. You
You
feel
feel
me?
me?
So you know what I mean,
So,
yeah.
Dice, so Dice, can somebody make a case that if somebody was like, "Yo, Dice was doing a lot in that battle," could they make that case then? Like, do it? Because it sounds like that's how it looks. And you're saying circumstantially, like, all right, he said his slogan, but you cut him off thinking that he was ending his round, right? But he still had more bars, and then when he told you he had more bars, you like, nah, fuck
Now he was wild. I could froze as a man. I couldn't let it go.
And Froze, I wasn't even like, this is the thing, bro. Because respect, like I said, it's playoff basketball. Because of what happened in the first, I wasn't too much like tripping off of I won't say him doing it, but I wasn't too much tripping off his energy behind it. Because I had already like, I kind of already created that tension in the battle with the first round energy. You
I
feel
think
me?
there's
So like,
I think there's also a separation between like liking someone's round more versus like having to score on on a judging type situation. Because I said it in my in my review, like I think pen to paper Dice was better than Hansel in the first. Like I liked Dice round in the first better than I liked Hansel's first round. You understand? But when you judge and you gotta split hairs like that, it almost is criminal to not give that round to the person that was clean. When you talking about judging, you know what I'm saying? So it's a difference between how you judge shit versus what you prefer and don't prefer type shit, in my opinion.
I ain't mad at that.
what I will say is talking through somebody's round periodically is a thing in battle rap. I mean, we see some of the greatest battlers do it. Clips do it all the time. Goods be doing it. So I do think there's a certain level of it's not pretty on cam. It doesn't look good when you making comments to somebody round, especially when he's cooking. You know, it's like, oh look, are you over there mad because he cooking? But I see battlers do it all the time. So for me, I think a couple comments here and there isn't really that dramatic to the outcome, especially if the rapper's locked in, because we've seen rappers give compliments during the battle. Like I've even been in a battle when somebody say a hot line and then you say, but that's one, or they be like, that's fire. And it's like I never seen that make nobody choke. So if you rap and you say a bar and I'm like, that's ass, and then you like, what? Stop talking while I'm rapping, and then you choke after that. Did I cause the choke?
Yeah, because I mean, not yeah, but you could be considered a reason why. We all know that negativity is less likely I mean, more likely gonna make you get out of your body. Same way, how, you know what I'm saying? I feel like the positivity is gonna encourage you, give you a second. I'm not saying it's your fault anyway, but yeah, you could make an argument for it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because if you give me a compliment, I'm going to most likely shake my head, yeah. Versus if you disrespect my
I
material,
need to respond
we
to
are
that.
artists. You sensitive about your shit, I'm going to
Let
respond. Now you're persuading the crowd that my shit trash.
But
Yeah.
Josh, me and you were battling, and then you like, hey, I say a bar, and I'm rapping,
Mm.
and you like that was fire, and I'm like, fuck out of here, bitch ass nigga, don't give me no compliments, and then
You,
and then I try to go back to my round, and I choke. Did you just cause my choke by giving me a compliment?
Nah.
No, your karma.
I mean,
You
you
get what
you
I'm
wildin'.
saying,
You
Hey,
out of
Instant
that
pocket.
was
karma.
fire. Shut your
Instant
bitch
karma.
ass up, nigga.
Instant karma
You
for
out of
being corny.
pocket.
Instant karma for being
Yeah, that's
corny.
karma. Oh
all
Yeah,
god.
right, so now that's
you out
Nah,
of
hey,
pocket.
hey, I
that's
don't think that's
sportsmanship.
corny. I kind of like that. Hey,
Okay, all right. So we'll take the same example but flip it or tweak it a little bit. If you say a cold bar and your nigga go your opponent go that was crazy. Try to shake your hand. You like appreciate you my nigga, and then you fuck up. Did he cause you to fuck up,
You see what I'm saying?
nah,
or
It's
did
so
you
I
just
feel
fuck, or
like
did you
no,
I
just
no,
feel
get
like
y'all are
that.
right.
distracted?
It's
I
so
mean, you
fucked
supposed
up
to
because
just.
you can't say yeah, but it's so fucked up, man. I can see how it'd be easier for the negativity to throw you off, but yeah,
For
technically
sure.
too.
I
Yeah.
That's
feel
when
like
I'm like, yo,
that's
why
a
you
vet
talking through
rule.
my round, nigga? Fuck yeah,
I ain't.
I mean, you ain't have to say appreciate it.
that
You
too,
could have kept
40
that
rapping.
too.
40.
I'm
You
trying
could have
to.
just shook your hand and kept
I'm
rapping. You
trying
ain't have
to
to say
body you.
appreciate it.
Why are you giving me compliments? Don't tell me none of my
Yeah,
shit
Hey,
nah,
fire.
the
I
flow.
will say this though. As a battler, I critique shit pretty well. Like for the niggas that battle me, they know. Like, but if I hear some shit that's great, I don't give a fuck if I fuck with you or not. If I hear some shit I personally think is crazy, I can't hide that shit. Like I'm gonna say something like that was crazy.
So if you say
So you
like
thought
that was
all my
crazy,
shit was
so if you
ass.
say
No, I
like
thought that
that's crazy,
knocking on the other side shit was amazing. I couldn't hide that. That was amazing.
so if you say like that's fire, and they say yeah, thanks, bitch, and then just get back to rapping, aren't you being so stupid?
Man, shout out to you, Hansel. You had two great battles this year so far.
No, I
So
appreciate you, man.
we want to give
Appreciate
you
you.
kudos for
What's
that.
up, T Top?
Thank you.
Top just up here in the speakers. Ain't share no wisdom. Ain't give
I'm
us no.
chilling, froze. I'm chilling.
Froze. I'm just up here relaxing, King. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
think
man.
I think obviously the unwritten rules that aren't really rules cause these conversations. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it could be a multitude of things that you could blame for, a choke or your opponent talking and shit like that. I think I think the best solution would just be quiet while your opponent rapping. And I'm not speaking as if I do it. You know what I mean? But I think that's a remedy to 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 stop all the asterisks next to why somebody choked. Oh, now he pulled the phone out, or if we just chill and let our opponent fucking rap and do his job, and he do the same thing. We show a little bit of sportsmanship. We kind of dilute these conversations a little bit, and I think that's what we really need to get to. A little bit more professionalism as a whole, as being the pros. Obviously, emotions run high. We battling, we're performing, cameras is rolling, stakes are involved, money's on the line, all types of shit like that. But I think the best way to remedy that is just to be quiet while your opponent's rapping. You have your time. You'll have your time. You'll have your opportunity to respond. Um, I just think we just gotta be quiet. We gotta be better with that shit, man. It's gotta be quiet. Let this nigga rap. And if he cooking us, he cooking us. It's what it is. It's what it is. What's up, Marv?
What's going on, little bro? Yo, let me ask you a question, respectfully. Uh, why?
Why what?
Why do I have to make it? And I say this like I don't. You don't have to OD with it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Well, why? Why do I have to make it easy for you to punch me in the face? Hey, like at this point, like in this point, like this is the mental advantage that I'm trying to gain. You know what I'm saying? The fans are allowed to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think a nigga should. I don't think a nigga should throw off somebody while they're rapping. I agree with that. But the predicting your bars, the whatever, that's always been a tactic. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always been a thing. You have to have some mental fortitude about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like or not, nigga. It's just us standing up here, nigga, punching each other without defense.
Well,
You know what I'm
and
saying?
yo, well, in my opinion, no, that's fair. That's a great point, Marv. If to give you some pushback on it, I would say your defense is when it's your turn to rap. That is your defense, right? That is part of your
That would be
no, no,
that would be my offense.
no,
That's when I have the
no,
ball.
no,
Pause.
for sure. But at the same time, in our sport, that is also your defense. Like
But,
your chance to
but you said back.
respond while they talking. Like if we're playing basketball and you can't stop me from going by you, you don't get to fucking clothesline me and say, "Well, what I'm supposed to let him score?" No, you're supposed to play standard defense within the rules. I don't think you get the, two
What
flagrant
about
you
like
out of the
what
game.
about picks and screens and stuff? What are those considered?
And then respectfully, when was that not the rule?
When, when you
We've all come up in spaces like we're not, you know what I'm saying? Like I know I'm not a spring chicken, and I can speak for a couple of people in here. Not being spring chickens, like nigga, there wasn't that respect when you went to somebody's block or school. You had to fight through it. You know what I'm saying? And as professionals, it feels like you know what I'm saying. You should do the same. Like the rules are the like. I don't understand when that became a rule that we had to be. I do think you need to be respectful. I don't think you need to be courteous.
Can I
You know
ask a
what I'm
question?
saying?
I think
That's fair.
as things elevated, things changed.
Let me
So
can
granted,
I
you're back in the school days, and when you were just rapping on the block,
Yeah.
it's a lot different to now that we're in a professional sport, basically at this time. Also, when you said the fans are allowed to do it, what exactly did you mean by that?
But the fans. There's very little repercussion for a fan talking through a round or stating whatever bias they have
chanting their
when
around?
when yeah
Or
when
But
or
it's
someone is
not
rapping.
allowed though. You're told to keep it down. You're threatened to be kicked
But
out.
it's not.
Like that's
But
not
respectfully,
acceptable.
Josh, is not enforced.
It's not
That's not a,
enforced.
that's not an enforceable thing. You know what I'm
You
saying?
can't be
Like,
kicked
Wait,
out of an
I got
event
a
for talking
question though.
too
I
I
got a
much.
question.
well,
hold on, hold on,
hold
up,
on,
Hansel.
before you ask that question. But for me though, Marv, I'm not going into a arena and expecting the fans to be professional. Like they're not the pros, so I can't hold them to the professional standard. And then also battling on the corner or in a barbershop is when it was an underground entity. When I always like to use the word pro battler because I believe that the battlers that are pros are just that. But pro is just a short word for professional. So for me, when you do shit on the street and then you go into a ring where there's money involved, there's investments, there's referees, if you will. This has just became a sanctioned bout. This ain't a corner fight. So what
Okay,
happened?
so let me ask you.
We
Let me
fighting in
let me
boxing.
hold on. Hold up, Josh. Let me ask you a question, Froze, and Josh as well. Um, so do you frown upon the battler turning their back on their opponent while their opponent is rapping?
I don't like it. I think it's tacky.
Okay, so I'm not allowed to predict. I'm not allowed to do anything. I'm also not
I,
allowed to silently turn my back on you while you rapping.
I don't think that I think that it doesn't look good on camera as far as
Oh, I
footage,
didn't say you
but I
couldn't
don't
do it.
mind
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah. My bad. Go
as
ahead.
far as right, you're not the you're turning your back has nothing to do with me actually getting my material out. When I'm spitting my material and let's say you're talking or there's music playing or I think even in the footage I think an airplane came over and Smack was like, let's chill, let's let the airplane go. Like noises and stuff that can throw off my train of thought are totally different than you just turning your back. I can rap to your back. Because my job is to make sure that the footage, the camera looks good at what I'm doing and everybody can hear my material.
Mm.
Yeah, I was gonna say turning your back. That's why I said, Marv, I don't like it, and it's tacky. Because if anything, you're making the battle weird now. You know what I mean? Now, like you're throwing off my performance, and what you're saying is that's gamesmanship. I should be trying to do that. But also too, I mean, a certain level, grudge matches are just that. But when we're just a sanctioned battle and it's we're competing, I think there's a certain line of respect we should try to have. Again, emotions run high in a battle. I always tell people who don't know about battle rap when I say, and they're like, "What is pro battle rap?" I said, "Imagine a fist fight without being able to throw punches or kicks." Right. So for me, when you fight, emotions are running high. You might do out of character things. So I get the human factor, but I also think that professionals are just that. So
Okay.
at what would you call professionalism in battle
I was
rap
gonna
at this
ask you that
point?
for the sake of argument. Like I wanted to know that too, because I
Um.
feel like y'all are both making solid points, but I hear what Marv's saying too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I was dying to know that. Yeah.
And I will say this. I will answer the professionalism part, but there was a point I wanted to make. I do think in this space. battle rap is it's a very competitive, it's a very harsh field. And I think at this point we're coddling a lot of people, and that doesn't do good for the process of elimination, respectfully. um I think we're allowing the sport to become very daffodils and very holding hands. And
Very bitch
I don't.
made.
No, I'm not gonna say that. But I'm. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't ever want to be. I don't ever want to be one of those people who lives. I don't want to be one of those back in the day ass niggas. But I will. But I will say that the vetting process was a little bit better because you understood who could survive in hostile environments. You know what I'm saying? And I think once you take those away, then that's when you get anybody who feels that they can do this, and the talent level
Can I?
decreases and everything else. You know what I'm saying? As far as professionalism, you should be.
You okay?
Yeah, you good? Motherfucker start, hey, Doc, motherfucker start hiccup like he was chugging a two
I
liter
was gonna
Mountain Dew.
say, nigga, Ving Rhames choked him out.
Hey, can I don't know if Marv was if got
Nah,
affected or
we
not,
need
but
to check on Marv. Like, you heard that shit? That
Yeah,
nigga
like,
sounded
nah, I
like
ain't like that shit.
I
Yo,
didn't even.
Marv, you good?
Oh, no, hey, somebody call Quest. Tell him drive over and check on Marv real quick.
Hey,
Yeah,
that nigga
no.
Marv was cooking too. Like, he was cooking.
But
Quick.
I wanted to say one thing though, because I thought of an example. I do feel like sometimes people judge the severity of it based on how much it affected the other battle rapper. Like for instance, I don't know if y'all seen John John versus Hollow the Don, but when John John was rapping, this nigga Hollow would pull out big ass poster boards saying like, "I've heard that," or "That
I'm,
sounds familiar." Like big as hell, like showed it to the crowd while he was in the middle of his rapping. And obviously, John John being a professional, he, you know what I'm saying, I don't know if he freestyled about it, but nonetheless, he didn't allow it to like fuck up his material around. But I feel like, let's say it did, then I think that makes the case for, oh, was Hollow really wilding, or like was that really necessary? But I think the fact that because at least on the surface didn't look like it affected John John, I don't think it was considered that severe. So I think sometimes the effect it actually has on the nigga in the moment makes it look a little bit more intense than it actually is.
See, so can you hear me now?
yeah, we was
Am
worried.
I
You
back?
all right?
Okay, so see, that's what I'm talking about. Professionalism. Xfinity just tried to fuck my round up, but I'm back. I'm back, my
Motherfucker said,
nigga.
hey, yo,
You
yo,
dig?
you know it's payday. It's
You
payday.
dig?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Type
know what I'm
shit.
saying? Look, my so yeah, so my point about coddling people, you know what I'm saying? Like it hurts the vetting process. Um, Also, as far as professionalism, I don't think you should OD. I don't. But also, I don't think I should necessarily give you an open lane to the basket. You know what I'm saying? Like I I I do I do have the ability to try to impede what you're doing. I don't think that you should I don't think that you should 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 OD, but I do think predicting bars. Um I think if you do something that throws your opponent off to the point of them not being able to combat it, I think that's an issue. You know what I'm saying? I can respect that.
Because,
But
yeah, go ahead.
I just I'm just very to the point where it looks, these really look like poetry slams. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like battle raps look like poetry slams now. You know what I'm saying? And I say that with all due respect to poets, but it's just like, bro, like strap your big boy pants up, or your big girl pants, like, yo nigga, and like fight through it. Like that's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's always been. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, and I actually, I think I'm hearing what you're saying, Marv, and I definitely respect what you're saying. I don't necessarily disagree with it, but my whole thing would be, okay, well, if you, because you're using, I'm not just going to let you walk to the lane and lay it up on me. If you're using that analogy, it sounds bulletproof. But if when you say, yeah, but I don't think you should OD, well, where do we draw the line at? Is it just predicting bars? Is it making a comment? Because at that point, there's no line or really
I was gonna
limit
say
to
that too.
That
where
was
you
my point. When I
No,
stop
said
at.
I was gonna
OD
okay,
say
is
that too,
he
but
was
this
not
should drop me
saying
out of here. I feel like when Hollow did that versus John John, I feel like that was a great way. That was like aggressive defense, but I feel like he did it in a way where it's like He was not talking during his round. He didn't do none of that shit. But he still, he put up the sign. He let niggas know. I've heard that before. That kind of
Yeah,
shit. So we already knew he was already creating some kind of whatever he was gonna do with that. So I feel like it was a part of his performance. I feel like there's a difference between something being a part of your performance and you intentionally trying to throw somebody the fuck off or fuck
yeah.
them
Like
up
if
or
you go
whatever.
back and you watch
Hmm.
Goods versus Tech in the Lions Den, it happens all the way back then. Tech is rapping, and in the middle of rapping, like literally in the middle of Tech's bars, Goods is saying you got on fake Nike boots. You got fake Nike boots on. Yeah, but you got fake Nike boots on. It's like that's OD to me. Like that's
So
OD to
Berg,
me.
so Berg, right? Would that be a testament of?
He should have known that battle in goods though. I'm sorry.
Oh, but no bullshit. 40. He's sipping the cup while he's rapping. Yeah, but you got fake Nike boots on. You
But
got fake
and
Nike boots
I
on.
think that kind of no, I'm not saying that's okay, but just for me to
Was
just
the
be
boots
a little bit of
fake?
a devil's advocate, not for nothing. Like Marv said, you coming into a certain kind of hostile environment. I feel like you're supposed to know who you battling.
So I was kind of saying that, like, would that be a testament of some niggas who can play offense and defense? Like some niggas know not to say nothing when Clips is rapping. You talk while he rapping, he gonna make an
Hmm.
example out of you. DNA, he's
Hmm.
gonna make an
Hmm.
example out of you. Geechee Gotti, he's gonna like some niggas just know how to play offense and they know when they know how to be two at the same time. But if you can't handle it, it will look bad on you. But that's why the
Yeah,
the
but
hostile environment,
yeah.
like Froze, you're a professional. Sometimes you
I,
might not
I
like
I
it.
like to think that, K Walk. I'm gonna go ahead and
Listen,
continue. Go
but
ahead.
you
Yeah, yeah,
know
yeah.
some.
Nah, let's
Listen,
define professional here.
listen.
Let's
You
define
listen.
professional
Nah,
here.
nah. Froze is a professional, but Froze, I know sometimes you might like. I seen you versus Jag. Y'all niggas like y'all was about to fight.
We
You
were.
see what I'm
We were.
saying?
We were. Go ahead, though.
But you knew when to turn it off, what to take serious, what not to take serious. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's like, all right, I gotta be both players. You know what I'm saying? Because you say the wrong
Yeah.
thing, like you say the
Okay.
wrong thing
Cer-
that the fan might not think is that serious, but I think is that serious. So
cer-
sometimes you gotta think in the heat of the moment. You know what I'm
Certain
saying?
people have a higher level of resiliencies or skill sets. I still don't think take away the intent. So, all right, you named it. What you weren't wrong when you said, "Hey, listen, go ahead and talk if you want to. If you battling clips or if you battling DNA." But because those fucking alien like hybrid rappers, actually make moments out of that, I still don't think like you called that defense, and that's not defense to me. That's
No, what I'm saying, like, let me give you an
That's
example.
extraterrestrial shit. Like
But
all of us
but
can't
but
do that.
to Marv point, right? To Marv point, and both of y'all are right. But Marv, if this is what you saying, you see how when Geechee battled Surf and he said every fucking bar, and Surf said it better be. Like he in his
Hmm.
face while he's saying that, but it's like he throwing them off, but it's like it ain't he ain't distracting him, but he
That's
just
but
talking back to him.
that
Y'all like to bring up basketball analogies
getting
so much.
40.
That's no difference from when niggas is playing ball and somebody's about to take a shot. If someone's in your face like you about to miss and they be talking and they pick up like little shit on their mic, does that make a difference? Because y'all love using basketball analogies. So does that make a difference if somebody's in your face and you about to take his shot and he's like, yo, you about to miss, you bitch ass nigga. Whatever the fuck they be saying on the little mics. Like what does that make a difference? No, right?
Or
It's
like
about
when
the
Geechee
same.
was battling Lux. A Verb, did you count this when remember Geechee was battling Lux and his homeboy kept doing this and Geechee was like, nigga, you got the rag on in the West Coast and it was like, but he made a moaning out of it. Like it just come with the game.
Nigga,
Like
that was just a
And
natural moment.
also,
I ain't gonna lie. For,
also,
for me,
hey, look.
oh, go ahead.
Hey, look, respectfully, you know what I'm saying? I also think that this may open up a Pandora's box that I don't think people want to, that people don't want to deal with. Because once you say that, then I think that that leads to, well, shit, if we're going to make this easier, then we're going to censor and outlaw certain things that you can talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like respectfully, like like people will always have an argument. They'll always be able to make an argument for something that makes it easier for them. You know what I'm saying? And I think it shouldn't be it shouldn't be like we always say that battle rap is like the last pure element of hip hop, and you know what I'm saying, because it's so organic or because it's so raw. Pause if applicable, and like you just making it easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
Like
Marv, no bullshit. Nah,
Kind
cause
of
I
what?
just hold up, cause I just thought of something. Cause Marv been here longer than all of us right now. That's here, right? No,
What?
no, Marv. I'm not dissing yet. I'm about to, but I'm not
No, no,
dissing.
no.
That wasn't the diss. But like, you know what, Marv, you sound like one of them old ass NBA players and NFL players. You can't hit the
I
receivers
am.
across the middle no more. You
I
can't hit
am.
quarterbacks low. Marv, like, man, y'all fucking up the game, man.
Y'all
He
fucking up
ain't
the
But
trying to
game.
hear
hey,
none of
hey,
that
hey,
shit.
hey,
But
Fro,
look, because now anybody can play.
where did he lie,
Anybody can
Fro?
play.
Where he
Anybody can play. There was a time where you had to be a certain caliber nigga to play. You had to be a certain caliber nigga to walk into a spot and say, I'm the best here, and
Facts.
deal with what came
No,
with and deal with what came
where
with
did
it.
he lie,
You
Froze?
don't have
No,
to be
he's
that
not
now.
lying. He's actually, we're having
That's his
this is a
facts.
healthy debate, and
he
You know what I'm
cooking.
saying? Niggas is rapping in a
when I
bubble.
feel like
Niggas are rapping in bubbles.
when I feel like I debate, trust me, like I don't need to be the winner of the debate to enjoy it. So I'm listening to Marv, and his ideology comes from that old school shit, man. Nah, I'm not trying to hear that. Motherfuckers was pulling guns out while we was rapping, and y'all talking
Yeah.
about tough. Like, I get it, so I understand
Facts.
what he's saying, and I agree with what he's saying. He
I
made
don't
some
want to
great
sound like
points.
the old nigga though. I
Yeah.
don't want to sound like the old nigga. I
Nah, no, but
respect
it's
it.
right though, because I watch a football game. I love the game still, but they throw flags on certain plays where I'm like, yo, man,
You
they
dig?
fucking the game up, and I get it. So that's
Yeah,
yeah.
nigga, walk through the fire. Walk through the fire
Now,
or stay out of it.
and you also were consistent on, hey, listen, there is a certain level where it's too much. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
agree.
So
I agree.
look,
I agree. But
I said old heads, and now three-letter man requesting to be a speaker. Look. Hold
yeah,
on,
come
my
on,
nigga.
man. Don't leave me
Hold
out
on,
here
my
by
nigga.
myself, three.
We're not doing
Hold
that,
on,
my
my
nigga. We're
nigga.
not
Man,
doing that.
shout out to the
We're
old
not
niggas,
doing
man.
that
Fuck
shit.
that. Shout
Come
out to the
on,
old
man.
niggas. Shout
Come
out to the
on,
old
man.
niggas. Marv, I
Three.
love you, old
Come
nigga.
on,
I love
man.
your old ass, Marv. You hear
Fuck
me?
with me, man.
No, we're not gonna
Fuck
do that,
with
my
me.
nigga.
Three ain't had nothing to add to the conversation. Marv, I agree with you, my nigga. Keep cooking,
Hey, look,
Marv.
yeah, I respect it. I need all the help I can get. This culture don't fuck with
You
me.
just don't.
Give me all my
You
goddamn
just don't
property,
want it to
nigga.
become a pansy game, man. I agree with Marv 1,000%. I mean, there are certain lines, I guess, when he talking about what you can and can't talk about, that's between the battlers to do what they do. But as far as like changing
I
and
can't
making
hear
shit
somebody. I
easier,
gotta leave and
just
come back.
like, oh my God, like, what you can't
I
do
got you,
that.
Bill. Just
It's
pull back
just
up.
like they gotta cut the shit with that.
You know
That
what
shit
else?
is
You know what else, Doc? I never factored into. I think each competitor and battlers have different relationships with each battler. Some you don't know that well, you're not that cool with, and some you really respect. You've had tons of conversation and time spent with them throughout the years. We've all been around here for 10, 15 plus years, a lot of us, right? So I think, like, for example, when I battle Arsenal, I felt like, all right, Ars gonna violate a little bit just off of his battle rap, persona. But I never factored in. Me and Ars cool. We got a lot of respect for each other, and it didn't go that way. So, and I didn't look at Ars like, yeah, Ars ain't do that to me. That's the that's the corny way to look at it, right? I looked at it. We had a conversation after the battle, and he was like, "Yo, Block City, we always got love for you, Frozen." I'm like, "Nah, I appreciate that, Art." So I think the outside of the bar shit also depends on who's rapping, because when I'm watching a real grudge match, Marv, all that shit, I want to see that. Yeah, talk white rapping. Yeah, but shoving matches and all that shit. So it really all depends on who's who and who's what. And I think that's the shitty part, because
Hey, look, Froze, let me explain something to you. Let me ask you a
It
question.
definitely depends on who's who, because when it's happening with me and Yoshi, she was talking to my rounds. They made it seem like it was thing that when I do it because I'm bigger than the bitch, I look like a
facts
bully. And I'm
Yo,
definitely
like,
look
that's
like you
not the
was
case.
bullying.
and if
Definitely
that,
look like you
hey,
was bullying her 40. I'm not gonna
hey, look, and
lie.
if
And
that,
that's insane because if you run it back, I was not. I told niggas to be quiet when she was fucking up, nigga. Like, that's insane. I
hey,
laugh
look,
because
hey,
it's a grudge match. What the niggas expect it to be?
hey, look, and if that's the case, outside of the culture, man, everybody loves me. Why do they get in the ring and say mean things to me, bro?
Right.
yeah. Like imagine if
I'm,
Marv was like, he's being mean.
you know what I'm saying? I'm old, I'm fat, I'm washed up. Like, yo, bro, I'm a nice guy. I just bought you a drink. Why do you say this? Why do you say these things? I got you a battle on this card. Why would you be mean to me?
I agree with Marv Froze, man. The game is just going to begin to change as we try to change too many rules and put too many stipulations and move the goalposts on a million situations. The game's going to change for the worse. It's going to become a bitch ass game. Marv
Yeah,
just
man
basically
up.
said that in a very nice way and articulate too. But that's really
Yeah,
what he meant.
man up. Like, man up. Like,
Hey,
honestly, man up.
hey, Froze, you didn't enjoy gun titles versus NWX, the first one?
Yeah, that's why I said it depends on who we're talking about, because certain matchups, it's like, that's good. It's part of the theater that makes the video, and certain shit like that, or things that happen where, you know, shoving matches, Beasley shoving people off the stage trying to prevent a fight. All that is theater. And like, I don't want those moments to go away. But if we're looking at the letter of law, what I was actually trying to say before, all that stuff would go away. Like, it wouldn't be battle rap without some of the rawness. So I understand exactly.
Real shit.
Yeah, I understand exactly that side of
Even
it.
with you, bro, you got a couple battles where you wasn't, bro. Like you got a couple
See,
battles
that's
where
the
you was
thing about
popping your
this
shit.
media. That's the thing about this media thing, y'all. Because I get in these spaces or on my channel when I talk, and it comes off as if I'm perfect or I didn't do the things I'm scrutinizing people about. I'm that's the two-way street, Walker. That I don't want people to think I'm not perfect. Some of the shit that I might get on a battle or for, you can pull footage of me doing it up. So, you know, but I'm speaking in hindsight now from mistakes, from past experiences. And, you know, I don't want it to come off like I've never done this shit. I done choked in battles that I wanted the rounds in, and you know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So I
Yeah.
get it. I get it. But moving forward though, we definitely don't want to get in an area. We don't want to get in an area where we micromanaging these things too much because it's gonna kill the sport. It's gonna kill the sport. I mean, we know what's up. You know what the problem is? We be fucking bored and everybody want to debate and argue all the time. That's it. Hold on, let me get right with y'all real quick. That be the real problem. Let's put it all on the table. We wake up every day. Some of us got driving jobs. Some of us got at home jobs. Some of us is at home wives. Some of us don't got no jobs. So we don't got nothing but time on our fucking hands, right? And every day we wake up, we up and down the timeline, and we got to have a big debate and argument about everything that happens in this motherfucking culture. This shit is not Ricky Lake. It's not Oprah. We got to relax a little bit and just get back to the essence. The train used to run a lot more smoothly until y'all start adding all these new additions and shit. All right, yeah, the train got Wi-Fi now. All right, we got the fucking air conditioner right over our head instead of just in certain parts of the train. But now the shit move a little different. We got to relax a little bit, y'all. Stop trying to find something to fucking fight about all the time. Everybody want to op. Some of us just don't got ops, and we got to be okay with it. Y'all be looking for ops every day. Ooh, I'm about to find an op I want somebody to beef with on this fucking app. And I'm guilty of it too. I ain't perfect. Bros get on my ass, no diddy about it all the time. Hey, Froze, you got to relax.